we made it to our trip to Valdez in Alaska. Somehow I thought it was a quite big town or a small city. Well, I guess that depends what you mean by small city. It's about 4,000 inhabitants here in the winter, probably in the summer more with the tourists. But it's a pretty cool place right on the ocean. And some of you may heard the name Valdez before, Exxon Valdez. I guess in about 89 they had the unfortunate tanker accident, and apparently back in 64, we may check this out a bit more, they had a huge earthquake that kind of changed the town just about forever. But we're just out and about and enjoying the views, which is different for us mountaineers, I guess, seeing the ocean. I guess they took these boats all out of the water for the winter season.
Once again, hello to all, as we are spending a day here in Valdez. I also put up a little map section for your info. As you know, Valdez is often referred to as the little Switzerland of Alaska. The town was made famous by the Alaska pipeline and later the Exxon Valdez oil spill. Unfortunately, in the past there was also that big earthquake, but more on that in the second half of this video, as we first take you on a walking tour showing you the city of Valdez. Valdez has relatively mild winters when speaking about Alaska.
Tons of fishing boats here, that's for sure.
Cheating.
Free meals for them. This goes up and down quite a bit with the tide. If you have a 5-foot fish, that's a pretty sizable catch. Sure can smell the ocean water, huh?
Pretty though.
Yeah. It's a kayak renting place, sea kayaking. Noisy buggers. Oh. One found food, the other one is upset.
There's lots around, so these are big cruisers.
I think so. Not sure the front one is a fishing vessel and the other ones are kind of glacier and wildlife cruises, yeah. See the on-land radar over there turning.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of these ones here are just fishing boats.
The city of Valdez has around 4,000 people living in this area. It rests in a deep fjord beneath the 5,000-foot peaks of the surrounding mountains, with waterfalls cascading down lush green hillsides and the calm, clear waters along the small boat harbour of Port Valdez, where we are at the moment.
What we got here? Captain and Sea Goddess. Stan Stephens, the keeper of Williams Sound. We'll read up on this in a little bit. Here you see the whole town of Valdez, and then over here is a map of the Prince William Sound. Left we have the Kenai Peninsula. I'll put some arrows on and where we are now, and a bit more over here I guess some advice before venturing out. What's interesting down there?
Hi, buddy.
Oh, let's see if that gets us anywhere. The mussel pickers. The two culprits are running. See all the shells here?
Yeah. He's not licking that you go near his stuff.
Ah, don't worry, I'm not gonna eat them.
Fuck the shells.
Like, holy smoke, got enough of these rods. Even some commercial ones there are out of the water. I'm not sure if that's for maintenance or for winter. Think so? Even the commercial one there. It's a crane to lift them out of the water. So they come in and then the crane rolls out and lifts them right out. Mosasaur? Let's see. Now, if I would make up a convincing story that this was actually caught in the waters of Alaska, would you actually believe me or not? Anyways, kidding aside, it was from a carving contest in 2018, that's what the little sign says, and was second place. It's all out of wood. Some kind of a fantasy creature, I imagine, kind of fish, half crocodile, alligator, but it's an awesome carving actually. Got the commercial harbor up here. See, what was that? A couple bigger ships out there waiting. Not too busy, the harbor. Guess they got some energy storage oil. So gasoline or whatever, I don't know, over on the hill there. Not sure if you can see, but there's a bear encounter, so we'll just keep our distance. I'll try to zoom in a bit more. Gotta pay attention here, it may be a walk. Oh, he's going down there.
We are now at the Valdez Museum and Historical Archive, and what you see here is a piece of the Exxon Valdez steel tanker from the hull after the accident. But anyways, we are at this museum to get a better understanding of the history in this area. I will get into some more details about the Exxon Valdez accident and the big earthquake that hit this area in the past. The museum has exhibits from the earliest days of Valdez, the Copper River Valley and Prince William Sound. The museum houses artifacts and art exploring everything from native tribal culture and the gold rush to building of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline and of course the devastating Exxon Valdez oil spill. You will also find a 1/20 scale model of Old Town Valdez before the 1964 Good Friday earthquake. That scale model provides a precise miniature replica of the city before it was rebuilt. Prince William Sound, where Valdez is, includes 3 unique cities: Whittier, Cordova, and of course Valdez, and the native village Tatilek, along 3,900 miles of coastline and 10,000 square miles of protected marine and mainland region. It's sandwiched between the Kenai Peninsula and the Chuga Mountains. Access to Valdez: you can drive 1 hour from Anchorage to Whittier and catch a ferry, but check the ferry schedule first as it will not run every day. That is why we had to take the driving option, which is 304 miles from Anchorage to Valdez via the Glen and Richardson Highway, as you can see the drive in our Day 12 Alaska trip video if you're interested. Now, let's move on to the difficult times Valdez had to endure.
Webster electric washing machine. Really? That doesn't look electric to me.
On March 24th, 1989, the oil tanker Exxon Valdez ran aground in Prince William Sound, spilling 11 million gallons of oil.
Here we got a hand-cranked washing machine, an electric one.
The ecological sensitive location, the season of the year, and the large scale of the spill resulted in one of the largest environmental disasters in US history. Now, if that Exxon Valdez disaster was not bad enough, in 1989, let's go back another 25 years from that disaster to 1964. Once I'm being done with being sidetracked by what I see right now, and then I just spotted a nice old bar set up, which I'm gonna check out in a minute, I will get back to this earthquake story.
Oh, you want me to talk? Gee, wait. I was just looking at the old booze bottles there. And I don't know the history of the bar, but I'm just mesmerized. That's why I was just quiet, I guess, with all the old bottles, the old cash register. I don't even know what that is there. Maybe an old slot machine. But
Jukebox? I don't know. Maybe slot machine.
I have absolutely no idea. Just don't even know where to look or not to look, but amazing. If I do this, I'm just in it with the one-armed bandit. Is that what they called them too?
Yes, it is.
Look at these old phones. Yikes.
And this is a jukebox, I think. This one here. Yeah.
Well, let's get back to this earthquake. In 1964, on Good Friday, the magnitude of this quake measured 8.4 to 8.6 on the Richter scale and was reported as a 9.2 moment magnitude. The massive shock waves ripped the streets apart, damaged homes and destroyed buildings in town. The earthquake lasted approximately 4 to 5 minutes and is the most powerful recorded earthquake in US history. It is also the second largest earthquake ever recorded in the world, next to the M9.5 earthquakes in Chile in the 1960s. The epicenter of this powerful and devastating quake was only 45 miles west of Valdez and 40 miles under the Earth's crust. The massive shock waves ripped street apart, damaged homes, and destroyed buildings in town. If the earthquake wasn't bad enough already, it triggered a huge submarine slide that caused millions of cubic yards of earth to slide into the Valdez Bay. It created large waves, which caused additional damage. 31 Valdezans, unfortunately mostly children, lost their lives during the quake. Due to the unstable condition of the town, many residents were forced to live in roadhouses for a period of a couple of weeks. Help from Fairbanks arrived almost immediately. This aid came in the form of food, clothing and some entertainment. Gradually, people whose homes had not been damaged were allowed to return to their property. Now, while we are going for a bite to eat at the Dead Canary Mine, I will tell you the rest of the story. After some further investigation, it was determined that the ground under Valdez was too unstable, and it was decided to move the location of Valdez to a new town site. The Army Corps of Engineers chose the delta of Mineral Creek after much research. It took from 2 to 4 years for the new Valdez to become home for Valdez residents. Approximately 62 buildings were moved from the old Valdez to the new town site. Since that tragic day in 1964, Valdez has grown and flourished. Some say the same earthquake devastation can never happen again in Valdez because of its new location. But can we really be that certain about that? After all, Mother Nature does what it wants, so every tremor brings up the question of its possibilities to the residents of Valdez. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching, much appreciated. You will see me again next week in another video, and until then, be safe and stay well.